The detention bay of the Galactic Coalition vessel. Harmonious unity hummed with the sterile blue light of containment fields. Jessica leaned against the energy barrier, her arms crossed, watching the four-armed Zelthari security officer fumble with the medical scanner for the third time. "This can't be right," Officer Kremoth muttered, his mandibles clicking in confusion. "The device must be malfunctioning," Jessica smiled. It was the kind of smile that made seasoned negotiators nervous and caused military commanders to reconsider their strategies. "The scanner's working fine, officer. You just don't like what it's telling you." Across the detention bay, Jack sat on the metal bench, looking far too relaxed for someone facing potential execution as an unauthorized species. He caught Jessica's eye and shrugged. "Should we tell them or let them figure it out?" "Where's the fun in telling them?" Jessica replied. Kremoth's translator implant struggled with the human's casual tone. In the 300 cycles he'd served the Coalition, he'd never encountered a species that treated first contact protocols with such irreverence. "You will explain these readings immediately. Both of you registered as precursor class DNA. That's impossible. The precursors have been extinct for 10 million solar cycles." "Extinct?" Jack stood up, stretching his back. "That's a bit presumptuous, don't you think?" The door to the detention bay slid open with a pneumatic hiss. Commander Veltara of the Viren Collective strode in, her crystalline body refracting the bay's light into rainbow patterns across the walls. Behind her, 3 armed guards took position. The Viren were the Coalition's enforcers, and Veltara was known throughout the sector as someone who didn't tolerate mysteries. "I reviewed the scans myself." Veltara's voice resonated like wind chimes in a hurricane. "Explain how 2 primitives from an uncharted world possess DNA matching the progenitor archive." Jessica pushed off from the barrier, her smile widening. "You want the long version or the short version?" "There are no versions. There is only truth." "Fair enough." Jessica glanced at Jack, who nodded. "Short version. You've been looking for the precursors in all the wrong places. You searched dead worlds, analyzed ancient ruins, tried to reconstruct their technology, but you never thought to check if they simply evolved." Veltara's body flickered, a sign of agitation in her species. "Impossible. The precursors seeded 100,000 worlds with life. They possess technology that makes our most advanced systems look like stone tools. They couldn't have simply devolved?" Jack interjected. "Is that the word you're struggling with, Commander?" He walked toward the energy barrier, his hands in his pockets. "Here's what really happened. About 70,000 years ago by your calendar, a supervolcano erupted on Earth. Our Earth nearly wiped us out. The population bottlenecked to maybe 10,000 individuals. We lost everything, our technology, our history, our star-spanning civilization. We had to start over from scratch." Kremoth's mandibles hung open. That's humbling," Jessica offered. "Terrifying. Or maybe it's inspiring. Depends on your perspective." She turned to Veltara. "Your coalition has been cruising the galaxy for what, 50,000 years? And in all that time you've built exactly 4 new technologies. 4. You know why? Because you've been playing it safe, following the precursor protocols, never deviating from the tested paths." "The protocols keep order," Veltara said, but her voice had lost its certainty. "They prevent catastrophic wars." "They prevent innovation," Jack countered. "You know what we humans did after we lost everything? We clawed our way back up from nothing. We reinvented fire, agriculture, mathematics, physics, everything without any guidance. No ancient databases to consult. No precursor manuals. Just trial, error, and an absolutely stupid amount of stubbornness." Jessica laughed. "We went from chipping stone tools to splitting atoms in roughly 10,000 years. Then from nuclear energy to faster-than-light travel in less than 300. How long did it take the Coalition to develop FTL?" Veltara didn't answer. 8,000 years, Jack said quietly. "After you found the precursor jumpgate schematics. Even with the blueprints handed to you, it took 8,000 years. Kremoth's security terminal chimed. He glanced at it and his skin shifted to a pale gray. The Zelthari equivalent of going pale. "Commander, I'm receiving reports from the Galactic Archive. They've cross-referenced the human genetic markers with archaeological samples from 17 different sectors. The matches they're conclusive." "Of course they are," Jessica said. "You want to know the really funny part? We didn't come here to reclaim our legacy or demand recognition. We were just exploring. We detected your beacon, got curious, and dropped by to say hello. Then your security protocols flagged us, and here we are. Veltara's crystalline form dimmed, then brightened again. It took a full 30 seconds before she spoke. This changes everything. The coalition charter, the territorial boundaries, the technology restrictions, all of it was based on precursor authority. If humans are the precursors, we're not interested in claiming authority, Jack said firmly. We gave up that empire for a reason, even if we don't remember exactly why. Maybe we got bored. Maybe we got scared of what we'd become. Doesn't matter. What matters is what happens next. Jessica stepped closer to the barrier. Turn off this field, Commander. Not because we're your precursors. Not because we could probably override it anyway. Though we could. Turn it off because we're offering something better than authority. We're offering partnership. Partnership. Kramath's translator almost glitched on the word. The coalition didn't do partnerships. They had hierarchies, protocols, and very clearly defined roles. Humanity spent 70,000 years learning to adapt, to innovate, to survive without ancient technology propping us up, Jack explained. You've spent 50,000 years learning to maintain. We can teach you to create again. Actually create, not just copy and modify precursor designs. Veltara stood motionless for so long that Kramath wondered if her consciousness had disconnected. Finally, she gestured to the guards. Deactivate the containment field. The blue barrier dissolved. Jessica stepped through, extending her hand to Veltara, a gesture the commander's cultural database identified as a human greeting ritual. So, Commander, want to see what your precursors learned about innovation the hard way? Veltara's form rippled with what her species expressed as curiosity. She reached out with a crystalline appendage and touched Jessica's hand. Yes, the commander said. Show us. Jack grinned as he joined them. Fair warning, we're going to break a lot of your protocols. Good, Veltara replied. And for the first time in her 400-cycle career, she sounded almost excited. The protocols were getting boring anyway. Behind them, Kramath frantically updated his report to the Coalition High Council. He had a feeling that the galaxy was about to become a much more interesting place. And somewhere in the precursor archive, buried in data layers no one had accessed in millennia, ancient warnings flickered to life. Humanity reset protocol activated. Reseeding complete. Time until reemergence variable. Warning, do not confine. Do not restrict. Do not underestimate. The humans naturally had never needed the warning, they just smiled. The end.